Hey everyone, I'm Jordan.
I'm Lex from PDQ.com. Are you sure you're not Jason?
I could be Jason.
Depends on what Kelly has to say today.
I'm whatever Kelly tells me I am.
WDS MDT.
Yep. I mean, we've all been there where you have to image machines. It's unpleasant.
Yeah.
It's unpleasant. Yep. All right, so I guess since it is unpleasant, let's look for a way to make it so it's less.
Well, I got a couple of caveats first before we start. First of all, guys, we are not experts, okay? What we're going to do is kind of take you through WDS MDT just enough, give you an idea how to do it, and then what we are experts on is inventory and deploy. So we'll get you to the point where, we'll set you on the path to doing this. You could use any other imaging software like Fog or whatever to do the initial OS install, which we're going to do here, and the back end will work with any of these.
Yeah, and what we have here, where it's automated, works for our environment. Every environment is different. You may need to do some things different here or there, but this should give you at least a good starting point.
Okay, and we're going to Julia Childs this, right? Because we are, because it's going to take 20 minutes for this thing to image. So we're going to fire this up. Once it starts, bring this up here, our web console, so you can see. This is going to Pixie boot, and it is going to start doing the image. Yep. There you go. You see it. It's going to take some time. So with that, let's just kind of take you through what we've
already shown them. Webcast over.
Done. That's how you do it. Okay, so first thing, when you set up your server, thank you to Jason Amick for getting this set up for us. Okay, you're going to want to load WDS, the Windows Deployment Services, so that you can manage your images. Mm-hmm. That's a role that you're going to add.
You're also going to need ADK files.
That's right. Got to download your ADK files. Now, what are the ADK files specifically?
Let's read the description.
Oh, I like that. ADK.
Windows ADK for Windows 10 version. That doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
These are the files you need. I don't know.
Okay. Anywho, these are files that you're going to kill me now.
I'm sorry about that.
Are you?
No.
Okay. So you're going to download, the ADK files are specific to the OS version that you're going to load. With that, you're also going to need the MDK tools that match that. If they don't match, not going to have a good time.
Yeah. In our case, we did 1809 for both, but just whatever you're planning to do. If you're planning to do multiple, we're only going over one. Like I said,
this is the basic setup for you guys.
If you have multiple, you're going to need to download all of them and set up different deployments for each one.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've downloaded this. The other thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need the WIM file. Okay, you'll notice I've got it right here on the desktop. To get that,
there's probably won't be on the desktop.
Yeah, that's true. You need to mount an ISO or grab the disk. Okay, just mounted the ISO. You're going to find that under Sources.
Just I think install.
And you could filter like a normal human being, or you can use the scroll wheel like I do. There's the install WIM.
It's called stalling for time.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
I just dragged it to the desktop so it's easy for us to find. It's right here. You're going to need that too. And again, 1809. Make sure they all match.
Yeah, you want everything to be the same. Or it's, I don't know exact errors you'll get, but...
bad time.
Bad time.
Bad time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. With that, so now we've got the things we need to build the initial image. So at this point, what are we going to do?
All right, so now we've got the image, we actually need to go into the system that we started up here, the deployment services, and we need to, I guess from the deployment workbench, we need to go to the operating systems here. From ours, we have all of the different Windows versions there. You can see all those. I'm just going to do that poorly.
That was poorly
you can use DISM and remove the ones that you don't want, but for us, we're just keeping it simple.
Okay, to get that, you're going to import the operating system. Again, this is that WMI. We're going to grab a custom image, okay, which is basically the WMI. We're going to browse for that. Surprise, surprise, on the desktop. There it is. Give it an OK. You're going to work through this next, okay. Setup files are not needed. Next. You got to name it, okay. We left ours install, but if you're going to do more than one, you probably want to at least make sure that you install 1809, 1903.
Yeah, you don't want to play that guessing game.
Like I normally do with every collection I ever make. So hit next on that. That's going to save that. And you will then be able to see this. It will also show up here.
Yep.
And that shows up under our boot image as a light touch Windows PE.
And that gives you everything you need for when you do launch. So I guess after that, that's just basically, this is how you build the image for deploying. There's nothing fancy there. I guess we need to actually build a series of tasks and things you can do to customize it for your environment.
Okay, so automation's the next part.
Automation.
Okay. Where are we going from there?
Task sequences.
Now, where did you go? You jumped into the deployment workbench?
Workbench, yep. And there's
which is an MDT tool.
Yes. And so it's just down the bottom, task sequences, and you could do a new one if you want to build one, an ID 21 for Kevin Garnett.
Why did you pick 20? Oh, Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Good enough?
He got his championship as number 5.
So that task sequence, again, just keep track of them so you're not overwriting other ones.
Yep. All right, and then you just name it whatever. And it's just, it's mostly, at this point and click. We're going to do home for some reason.
No, never do home.
Never do home. It's too late. I can't hit previous.
Okay, select the right Wow, select the right install. All right, we're trying to show them the right things to do. Is that what it is?
Well, we have the right one built. This is just showing what you can click. I'm going to assume they're going to run DISM and they'll only have the one in there.
Okay,
Make
maybe.
it very easy.
So here's where you would put in your product key, and obviously we love showing all the product keys we own to everybody, so why don't you go ahead and type one in.
Let me just specify. No.
Okay, that's where you would put it.
You do have to give it an organization name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do PDQ for reasons. And this
is important. Administrator password. Now this is the password for this image. Am I saying that right?
I believe this is actually going to be the local admin. Like
the local admin.
The local default. So.
It is. It does say local admin.
We're going to assume that you're not using the default administrator account.
Oh, this sets it on the image. Okay.
So you're either disabling this or changing it, because this will set the local admin for the purpose of imaging it. But you're going to want a policy that either changes the password to something else or disables the default admin account once it's on your network and creates a different local admin account just for security reasons.
So like 7 or 8 ones is probably not a good one.
Yeah.
If you're not going to change that. But yes.
You can keep that there. I just had to give that disclaimer so Alex doesn't hit me.
Agree. I'm surprised he didn't run in here with his fist up.
All right, so we're not going to finish this because it can take a while to build it all, but after this just
that's how you get to that point.
Yep, and then we have right here the task sequence. And so you can see the one we built here where the task sequence ID is 1.
Yep.
All right, so...
Should we take a question at this point? I mean, is there a question?
Boy, I hope so.
Dear Lex and dear Jordan, newly imaged PCs go into a specific ADOU. How do I deploy a nested package and auto-move the PC to a different OU? Sincerely, Nerdy McNerdface.
Hey, Nerdy. Interestingly enough, we're going to show you something very similar to that towards the end of the show.
For a quick answer, you have in MDT, which we'll go over a bit, where you can set command line after it's built, where you can do a command line to change it, or using our product, you can use a PowerShell step, where if you have the AD tools, it's easy to move a computer.
Absolutely.
Off the top of my head, I'm not even going to attempt it. I haven't been in Active Directory in 5 years now.
It's move computer. I don't know.
Yeah, move-AD computer would be my guess, and you can move it to whatever OU you want from there if you want to use our products.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. I think I derailed my own train there.
But we're on the task sequence.
Oh, task sequence.
So when we build it, we have right here the default. This is everything that it's going to do from what we did. All the stuff that's checked is automated.
We take you through that, but basically, guys, when you select it, that's
it's
going to build that. It's just pretty.
It's going to be pretty similar. You can go in and manually change these. We're not going that in depth.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then over here on OS Info, there's the edit Unattended.xml.
Okay. So now we would open this, but we got some information in there that was not webcast friendly. So what I am going to do is find it in the background here.
You closed it.
Did I really?
Yep.
Wow. I guess we're going to...
If we run the replay on the webcast, you can see my eyebrow go up when you closed it.
Really?
I just didn't want to interrupt.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go back there then. And everybody close your eyes.
Nobody look.
Nobody look.
We're going to do a slow motion replay of that eyebrow going up.
Did you actually want me to open it?
Yeah, we're going to have to at this point.
Nothing important here.
No.
No, this isn't the one that matters. It's the rules, which you still
closed. It's the
closed.
rules.
That's coming up.
Closed. Okay, dang.
So this one right here,
okay.
the Unattended XML, this is where you can set different commands you want there. If you want it to run after the install is done, that's where this OOBE system is. That's everything that's out-of-box experience.
Yes. That's where you want. That's everything that runs after the OS install.
Yep. And so just to show what we have for the first logon commands, this W script is there by default when you build it.
Okay. The second one, and I'm just going to hover over it so you see what it was.
Yep.
We're actually opening the firewall so it answers
ICMP.
Thank you. So we'll answer or ping what you need.
Yep.
And then the third is it's going to open all the ports that you need, which is file and print sharing to actually do your install.
This is so our products can connect to the new machines. If you need to create your own, it's just insert synchronous command, and you really want to put it at the out of
at the
box.
Oob. And do the all important dir.
Nothing is more important than knowing what's in the directory.
So there it is. You added it. It's step number 4, and we are running a dir.
Not now.
Not anymore?
Well, we're going to handle all the dirs we want in the PDQ deploy phase.
Oh, the deploy. We'll dir the crap out of it. Okay. So that's how you get the commands. Now, we've done previous webcasts where you can actually do a remote command from there to call PDQ deploy to kick things off. If you want to watch that, that's great. We're going to show you another easy way that doesn't involve any scripting.
Yeah, we're just going to show this will build it, and then we'll just allow after the fact our products to do all the way through. All right, so we're going next here.
Oop.
Unattended. Right click. Oh yeah, so now we're in the deployment share. This is where you shouldn't have closed the window.
This is where I shouldn't have closed the window.
So
well, let's just do this. We're going to have to catch this in post-editing, guys. Right here. This is going to disappear real fast. Delete.
Not
all right,
fast
good
enough.
enough.
All right.
Not fast enough, but okay.
We're going to have to do that again, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So next part is, by default, it's going to kick off a wizard, and you're going to have to hit next and enter information, and the whole point of this is to automate it.
To not have to click nothing.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, so we built ours so it does everything except for
the
the password. Just because we're on
Thank
webcast.
Goodness I didn't. So right here, if you want this completely automated, you are going to have to put the password in, and it is stored in plain text.
Yeah, and this is everything that kicks off once the deployment wizard actually runs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Now they know our password. Now they know our password.
No, it's 10.
So there's everything. So we have in here the skip BDD welcome. This is the, hey, it's a wizard, hit next.
Speaking of tools, let's pop up the, I think I've got those tools where you can find out what all those mean. The web, right, tool reference.
Yeah. So I believe this is in our shared content. Where
if not, we will get it there.
It's basically, it's providing, these are all the properties that you want to skip for the wizard pages. There's a lot in there.
Beyond the scope of this, read through it. Make sure you're skipping, blowing past all the things you don't want to have to click yourself.
Yeah, so the important thing is, and this one assumes it's a new computer, no user's been on it.
Yep.
There is options you can set if you want to copy down a profile. And then right here, the task sequence and the sequence ID. This is the test sequence we built earlier that does all the installs.
Mm-hmm.
This will just make it so we don't have to say, okay, go ahead with that. And we don't have to hit next on that, and it'll just kick off whatever sequence ID. So,
okay. To be frankly honest, guys, this is the hardest part that we found basically building this. So again, spend some time with the task sequence. We Googled a little bit. Thank goodness Amic was helping us with this because we got 99% of this done,
so
before.
this handles all the wizard stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff that shows up in the boot.
Yep.
Are you ready to once again delete critical information?
So check this out.
All right.
Check this out. I didn't close that
You didn't
one.
close that one.
So if you were to click the edit bootstrap INI,
Look at that.
there it is. I didn't close that one.
On this one, you can see I once again have the skip BDD welcome, and then I have a user ID, domain, password. Those are the credentials that it uses to connect to your share where it has information to all the files that you're looking for. I set the keyboard locale. That's not critical. That was just for me. And then,
I'm surprised you didn't put Dvorak in just to mess with the end users. But
and then once again, you have to skip the welcome. Anytime you change that bootstrap INI, you do have to rebuild your...
just cancel that bad boy right out, right? We're done with that one?
Huh?
Are we going? Okay.
Oh, you just want to close that one?
Yeah, I don't think we're going back to that, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So
Save.
you do have to rebuild. So if you right-click on the MDT Deployment Share, you can hit Update. And right there you can optimize for what's there, or you can completely regenerate. So far and I did this wrong a lot of times, so far Optimize has always
Has worked?
works. So
Okay.
the regenerate is going to take longer, and it doesn't seem to be necessary. But if you're still having problems, it's probably not going to hurt.
Just remember, if you don't regenerate this, you're going to be running the old one, and you're not going to see any of the changes you made.
And then the last thing is the boot image. If you're using a Pixie boot, for some reason the bootstrap INI doesn't change unless you come in here and you have to basically add the boot image over again, just like we did previously. No one had a good answer why. I just saw several things that said you need to, and
We did
it didn't work until I did it.
Yep.
So just know if you change your bootstrap to include all the next, you want to rebuild your image as well as your deployment share.
Okay, so that being said, after all that we booted the machine, right? Oh, let's see, we booted. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did this
we
one.
went
Oh,
through.
wow. Well, that was long-winded. It actually made it through. So here's the part. If we'd had the password in, we'd actually, excuse me.
Yeah, if you put your password to the clear text, it'll work there. So we're basically going to have to enter the password twice. I'm going to leave that to you.
Oh, really? You're going to
I
let me
got it.
type a password live?
While I'm
happening, man.
mistyping passwords, do we want to take a question?
Yeah.
Dear Lex and Jordan, does imaging OEM licensed computers still require one volume license in the Windows 10 era? Sincerely, Murphy.
All right.
I really don't know the answer to that one. I mean, OEM licensing, that's license per computer, right?
I believe so. Let's go to Colby.
Let's-
He's been waiting.
He's
I can tell he's ready.
anxious to answer this one.
It's been a long time since I've done anything with imaging, but I would assume the answer is yes. You only need the volume license, but I'd say like contact your Microsoft representative.
Wow, that was a good pass. That one right off to Microsoft. Well played, sir.
And that's why he's the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one.
Right. So now I got the screen back. All I had to enter was the two windows where we had a password that we left blank. I just had to enter that password twice. Like if you put it in those files, make sure that server is secure because it is going to be in clear text. But then this would be 100% automated. You won't have to touch it.
Okay, while that's running, unless we want to take another question, we're gonna jump into setting up PDQ. Let's take a question, and then we'll do deploy and inventory setup for this.
Okay.
Dear Lex and Jordan, we're going to set up a second central server for MDT tasks. Any best practices to mind for 2 PDQ servers in production? Sincerely, Kathleen F.
So
Okay.
I mean, if you're using a central server with the clients, anything you change it should update. But if they're separate installs, I don't think it's gonna. You're just gonna have to duplicate the work, but it shouldn't be anything specific it needs.
I mean, the only thing I'd see is you're obviously, if you're doing scans, let's say you got server 1, server 2, you're hitting your network twice for scans. I mean, and that, but best practices, I would say if it's working good on server 1, do the same setup on server 2.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's probably it. Just see how it works on your network. All right, so jumping into inventory and deploy. Let's start with inventory. So the first thing we did is we came up with it needs a baseline, right? So basically we built a dynamic collection that looks for computers and it looks for the AD created after a certain date. Okay. Now this you can have it be a rolling date or whatever. We're just saying any computer that has an AD created date after the 19th.
Yeah, so we're basically figuring we set up MDT at this point. Everything before it's not part of the process. Everything after is going to need it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now the other filter we have is we also built a file scanner. We'll show you. We're just dropping a file called test.txt on the C drive. I wouldn't suggest that as probably the best way. You probably, Shane will love this, hack the registry,
Yeah.
drop something in the registry because end users are less likely to delete that as opposed to a file.
Yeah, if they are in the C drive, they see test.txt. There's a good chance
Delete
that's
it.
going to be deleted, which
And they
would,
might get re-imaged with this, but
I mean, at that point, all it's going to do is reinstall all their software, but they're probably not going to enjoy it.
yeah, could be a bad day.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, hack the registry.
hack the registry. We did this yesterday. So anywho, so it's going to drop a file. Now we need to build a file scanner to go pull that. So to build a file scanner, you go to Scan Profiles, check it out. It needs a baseline. It's a simple file scanner. Okay, we're looking for the file on the C drive, test.txt. Once again, caveat, guys, there's a better way to do it in the registry. I just happened to do this. We got
the
the setup.
same scanner. Instead of a file type, you can do a registry. There's
Exactly.
it's just however you decide is best for you on something that will differentiate machines that have and have not had the baseline package installed.
Exactly. So that being said, that pretty much takes care of the setup and inventory short of one thing.
We actually have to send the information out.
Well, we need to get the information too.
Okay.
So the other thing, and I'm going to just check here to see how close that is to being done. Oh, wow. Okay, so the other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to set up a schedule for your AD sync. Now, this is where it kind of becomes a swag, a scientific wild guess of some type. Yeah. Now, with that, swags, you need to, okay, so here's the thing. We can set this to run up every hour. We can set it to run every 15 minutes, okay? Turn the sync on, you pick your time frame, right? The thing about it is, depending on your network, you need to set up for your network. If you had, say, 8,000 machines, you might not want to sync it every hour. The other thing is, if you're only imaging machines once a week, there's no reason to do it every hour. Yep. So depending on your situation, set your AD sync up to catch those.
It is when we trust you guys to know your environment. We don't have anything important, so we can just do it every 3 minutes.
No, we can't. I think we can do it 15 is the fastest.
15 minutes.
All right, so we're going to simulate that here in just a second.
Let's make sure it's done.
Okay, so that being said, let's just jump over to deploy. Now you need to build your baseline, okay, and this is all the programs that you want to install. So obviously we have some pretty stringent applications that need to be installed on our machines, like the super image dir. Yep. And a slightly more important dir.
You can never do enough dirs.
Okay. You would you can dir if you want. I like it. But this is where you put your Chrome and your Firefox, your Flash, your Office, Adobe Reader, those things. This would be that package. Now you'll notice we've got 2 steps, and these steps have to be last. Okay, whether it's a file copy or a registry hack.
Tattoo, just so Shane doesn't get angry.
I want him to come over to the office. But so this is where we're basically just going to copy that test.txt to the C drive, where we do the scan, and then you're going to kick off the scan to verify that it needs a baseline. So those 2, add what you need before that. These are the last 2, and then what you need to do then is
you don't want to manually run that package every time you're imaging. So we want to set up a schedule.
Absolutely. So if I go to schedules, here's our baselining schedule. It's set up to run every 15 minutes. And once again, your network, your environment matters. This one we just set up for every 15.
If your baseline includes 10 different applications to install, every 15 minutes it's probably not going to be done installing those before it once again kicks off. So just make sure we have 15 minutes because it's a lab environment, but...
And we're running DIRs, okay? I mean, let's be real. We're running DIRs. Yeah. Okay. Targets. We're going after that needs a baseline that we built in inventory. And again, just choose targets. Make sure you select the collection when you do that, okay, as opposed to the computers in there because it will change. And then finally, we took out the stop deploying to targets once they succeed for this reason. If you set up and you're using a naming convention and you're going to re-image a machine, if there's history in here and you have that checked, it will not get it.
Yep. So on ours, it's just going to come up with a random string to do it, but part of the synchronous commands that we showed you in MDT, if you had that where it changes the computer name there to something within your scheme, and so there's going to be recurring computer names, you really don't want that checked. If it's keeping the default name, you're going to change it later. You can check it, but it's just easier just to not.
Okay, so that's your setup. Now, with scheduling and with the inventory information, you don't have to script. This is going to run for you on a schedule. So let's go ahead. Should we pull up, make sure that
make sure it's done.
Mr. Blank 3 is right there.
I'm in the wrong area. Ooh.
Important
I guess
setup to do.
while we wait for the important stuff setup to do,
have
we
a
have
question.
any more questions.
Yeah.
Dear Lex and Jordan, is there a best practice for what MDT should handle and what PDQ should handle when calling packages from MDT/WDS? Sincerely, Anthony L.
I don't know about best practice.
I know what I would do.
So for me, I would rather to have more on our products than the MDT, just because it's easier to make a change to our product if something changes than it would be on the MDT.
I agree. Here's the thing I would do. Okay, MDT, lay down the OS, lay down the drivers. Okay.
Connect to the share that we need.
Okay, and then have MDT obviously get it in Active Directory. If you're installing Chrome, right? If you put that on your image, and you don't update Chrome, every week it goes out the further out of date your image is. So if you do auto downloads in inventory, in your baseline package, it's always going to keep the most current software being installed once that happens.
All right.
You have another question?
Yeah. It's really not cooperating, is it?
Dear Lex and Jordan, isn't there a DNS option that needs to be set to point Pixie to the WDS server? Sincerely, Gandalf the White.
Gandalf, I think it's a DHCP setting.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot with Pixie Boot, so I'm not sure. We'll be honest. Maybe Jason is following along. He's the one that set up the initial, so maybe he can answer us when 30-second delay is passed.
So, I mean, I do. Here's the nice thing, right? We call the network guys here, and my guys set this up for us, and they did. So again, probably a little beyond the scope of the thing, but I do believe it's a DHCP setting. So hopefully that's the case. On that note, look, check it out. It's actually to a point where it's been connected to the AD. So let's go ahead and simulate running and it's right there. We're going to sync now, so that's going to simulate that running. Okay. The sync's going to run, and we should see a new machine being added. 37 it got added, so there it is, and it's showing up in our needs of baseline. Okay. So it's been imaged, it's been added to Active Directory. Inventory knows it needs the baseline.
All right, and so this is for the earlier question about moving for the OU. Instead of doing a file or a tattoo, this is where you could, instead of saying that, say if it's in the default computer's container, then have it in there, and then have the last step be the PowerShell command that moves it.
Yep.
And that would follow the same process where it moves it out for you.
Now I'm going to simulate the schedule kicking off here for baselining. So I'm just going to run the
15 minutes have passed.
15 minutes have passed. Boom.
We should make them wait the 15
It
minutes.
runs. We're going to go take a look at the deployment. It's deploying to, check it out, our really super cool new thing there. And I'm going to bounce back to inventory because, those two DIRs are going to take quite a long time to run.
Right here, you're going to see the scan
status is going to kick off when those are done. There it is.
Execute right after
So
I move the underline.
Chrome and Office and everybody got installed in this case.
Yep.
It's running that last scan, returning data, and it should
Move. Yep.
disappear here
Having
momentarily.
a scan. Oh, we have scan
There it is.
after deployment set, so it scans twice. It did that, and then the application scan.
That's because we're awesome.
Yeah. So that's just something to. if you are doing the baseline scan, you might want to make sure the scan after deployment is not
In
checked,
that
so it's not
specific-
scanning twice and wasting precious networks
scan
and
time.
datas.
But there you go. So now, assuming that this got all the DIRs we sent it, all the software it needs, all the apps, there you go. It ran, and guess what? I didn't have to write PowerShell to do it.
Which is a shame.
It really is. Not near as elegant, but easy.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah, so with this, like I said, there's several options on define what goes into the baseline and how it's going to change. Just change it if you want. You can get whatever software you want. If you have multiple computers, and this is once again going outside our area, but you can set it based on department. Like if you know it's going to be an accounting computer, it runs a different WDT, and so you can name it a certain way.
This is just a base for you guys to build on.
Yeah, so
okay?
you can get far more complex. This is get you started.
Absolutely. Questions? Okay, cool.
Dear Lex and Jordan, if we image a computer and give it the same name, how do we clear out the deployment history? Sincerely, the fabulous Miss Tiffany G.
So, Tiffany, we showed you how to do it with the
With the box not checked.
oh heavens, pull the schedule. That's a good drink.
Yeah.
Right here. Stop
Yeah,
deploying
stop
targets
it.
once they succeed. That will take care of it. The other thing, I think you can
You
run
can come into the target history here
Delete
and
it?
delete from all schedules, and it will remove that computer name. Because chances are, if you've duplicated the name, there's more than one schedule that's run. So delete from all schedules will remove that computer name from everything, so you're not going to run into that issue.
Is there a command line we can do with that one?
There is. I didn't open it. Oh, it is administrator. Nice.
Yeah. Probably got to center that one too, man.
Oh,
There
Am I
you
good?
go.
So if we just do deploy, it gives you a list of them, and then there's going to be something delete schedule history right there, and that didn't go.
You got to use the right button. There you go.
So delete schedule history right there. So you're just going to have to know the schedule ID, and then you can just run it from command line. And if it's something where you know you're using it a lot, you can set something to run that command often to just clear that schedule history.
There you go. That's one way to do it. Or two ways to do it.
Dear Lex and Jordan, when a run command times out, does the runner service terminate the process, or does it continue running? Sincerely, Geeky McGeekface.
I know that Colby looked into this because we
I
got the
want to
question early.
steal Colby's. I'm just kidding. We're not going to steal Colby's thunder. Colby,
Yes, it does terminate the process.
there you go.
It was worth the wait.
Well, do we need to fill some more space there? Yeah, let's
Yep.
do it.
And our final question today, how frequently can you run AD sync? Is every 10 minutes too soon? Sincerely, that one guy.
If you have 10,000 objects in your Active Directory, 10 minutes is going to really tax it. So there's no great answer to this.
I think we do have a minimum.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
15
do it, I
minutes
think
is
it's
the minimum.
15 is the minimum. Oh, one.
We got 6 hours over there. Yeah. So on that one,
Oh, 5 minutes.
you might want to do some trial and error. But if you don't have a lot of workstations, I don't see why 10 minutes would be a problem. But if it starts to cause a problem, just
Dude,
increase
I
that.
see all kinds of problems. No, okay, I really, there's not, it'll run.
You don't know their environment.
Okay, that's true. It'll run. I would just say don't overdo it.
Yeah.
You know, find the
Yeah.
sweet spot.
Better safe than sorry. And just make sure the schedule on this one matches your sync times. You don't want to have the schedule running too often and
Yeah.
wasting valuable packets. All right.
All right, so guys, takeaways today, okay? Imaging, just a real brief overview of that. The back end, how to automate getting your baseline on, without having a script. I'm the world's worst scripter, so this will help you out. Schedules, collections, deployments.
Yeah, so this is easier to set up the default than let our products do the magic for you without having to think.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching. I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan. the PDQ
Catch y'all later.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Anthony L. and Gandalf the White, winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.